the worst. You know, even if they offered us a sponsorship, Fabuloso, I wouldn't take it. I just cannot.
Oh, that cleaning stuff?
Yeah.
I was just using the word. I didn't even think about it.
I know, but oh man, it's like you get it.
That's when you know life is rough, when you're using Fabuloso.
Well, I mean, if you got a really stinky room, it's
Wait, I thought that was a cleaning agent, Fabuloso.
It is, but it has this.
It's super strong scented.
Super strong, like the lavender, which smells like.
Isn't that like the Dollar Tree special or Dollar General special Fabuloso? Oh yeah, that's the stuff in the clear bottle with the red label on it, or red writing. Yeah,
it is
Fabuloso.
Well, speaking of Fabuloso,
I hear it works really good on carpet.
Oh yeah, so does
definitely put it on your carpet.
Absolutely, put it on your carpet, put it in your upholstery of your car as well. So my name's Tom, and this, of course, is my compatriot. That's a word I don't think we've used this podcast, Jack, and this is...
How you doing? What to do with your old explicit content, formerly called What to Do with Your Old Porn.
Yes, the artist formerly known as What to Do with Your Old Porn. I was playing the one of my episodes for my students today. It was actually for the substitute teacher. And I didn't know if we used the word porn in that particular episode. Guess whether we did or not.
Why are we not allowed to use the word porn?
Well, you know, they're like 13-year-old boys, so someone hears the word porn, they're like, porn!
Yeah. You said wiener.
He said porn. So, this is a podcast that doesn't offer answers, but does ask a lot of questions.
It does.
So what is our topic this week? It's on you. You're gonna we're back in the recording studio. We haven't been here for a while. It's been a while, like 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah, we used up all in the can. We had no choice. We actually had to come in and record some more.
Yeah. This is called the Procrastinator's Recording. So what do we got this week?
This week we have any number of topics. I look at this. Look at this list I have.
Okay.
I have a long list. Here was one.
Okay.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they were giving me woes about life, the money issues and some marital issues that go along with the money issues, that whole festering mess that happens when, maybe one works, the other one doesn't, or one doesn't control spending, the other one doesn't either. things like that.
Oh yeah.
And I was a younger person, and I was telling him, and it kind of popped out of my mouth, and I think maybe there's some truth into it, and we can dig into it a little bit. It was money. Eventually you'll find out that you can never make enough, but someday you'll realize that you have enough. Yeah,
you shared that statement with me when we were talking by phone within the last couple of weeks. Yeah. I'm going to go, but I'm not, before I address the what you just said, which is compelling in and of itself. I will say on my first marriage, in addition to infidelity and, problems like that, we really dealt with some major financial issues. And typically what would happen is, we lived paycheck to paycheck, and it's not a great way to live. It's a reality. You sort of learn. if it's normal to you, it's normal.
I think at some point a fair bit of that comes with youth.
You're right, because because you haven't built up a nest egg. Plus, you just aren't used to trying to figure out how to budget, or just a lot of little things, like the fact that when you're first starting out, you're probably going to get a used car. The used car is going to break down. That's going to create some expenses that maybe you don't have if you have access to credit and get a newer car, which you can control your monthly car payment. All these types of things. But, what would happen is we'd have, we shared a bank account. And so, she would overdraw the account. I'm sure I did too. I would prefer to remember it as me not dodoing anything wrong in the relationship and her doing everything wrong.
We all kind of like that, don't we?
It is, yeah. So we'll just say I never did it, but I'm sure I did too. I just remember one time we rented a movie at a local movie rental place, and we overdrew the account by 10 cents, and then it spirals into the whole $20 charge here, and kind of like these payday loans, but it really just caused so much tension that when Tracy and I decided to live together and then subsequently get married, I was like, I just want separate bank accounts. And we're going on 16th anniversary coming up, and We finally have a joint bank account that's specifically for the mortgage. So we'll put in our portion of the mortgage and whatnot, or we'll put in, different things. Like if I got a part-time job, I'll put money in that. But I think we only did that maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. See, my father and his wife, his second wife, did that.
Yeah. They
kept finances separate, but at the same time, she had never married before, so she came into the relationship, on a much more financially stable footing than he did.
Yeah, Tracy had never married before. Yeah. Either. But I feel like...
Nor did she have any kids, though, either, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's to me, it really avoids the inevitable conflicts. And it really is in so many ways, as I look back on it. I mean, you really have to have a large degree of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing is, if you both have access to each other's finances, whether that be the savings or any of that stuff, or there's situations where I've heard that to me are just ridiculous, where one person will control all the money.
Right. Well, that happens way too much.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I've dealt with a number of people that have come to me over the years, and honestly, myself included at one point in my much younger life, where, I just couldn't be bothered. I was like, I'm going to make the money, and that's just how we're going to make things work.
Yeah.
Is I'll just make the money and we'll have enough money to pay the bills. Because if you don't get shown how to do that when you're young, how are you supposed to manage it? I mean, I've seen people that have gotten far more money given to them than I've ever had given to me in my life, but they have no management skills whatsoever. Nobody's ever shown them how to do it. So, it's much like the tax return thing with, people with multiple children and stuff like that. They get these gigantic tax returns for like $10,000, $14,000, $17,000 if they have 2 to 3 kids. And I'm fairly convinced it's just a bolster to the economy because...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they know, they're not stupid. They know these people can't manage that money because, that realistically, that could be half their income for the year in a lot of cases with that many children. And, how many times after those tax returns hit do you see big TV boxes or, advertisements for new cars and stuff like that? And it's ludicrous.
Yeah, and it also, the thing I don't like about that, and it's weird I say this because I was a single parent and definitely benefited from it, but it really discourages couples getting married.
Oh, 100%. Now we're just knocking off topics here.
It's all the same topic, Jack.
That was another topic, but we can get into that one another time.
I'll talk about that too.
My point in the talking to this person was that, because I had been there where it seemed like, all right, there's literally no light at the end of the tunnel. And, I don't like, I've been in that situation where it feels really destitute. Fortunately, I've never been so destitute or anxious I felt like harming myself or taking my life or anything like that. Not that it, that option hadn't crossed my mind, but it was like not really an option because, children and whatnot. And, that was before I had my faith and stuff like that. But are you recording?
Shh, not supposed to. I'm just looking to make sure that it's recording. It looks like it's recording. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Fabulous. Fabuloso. So I've been in that situation before where it just seemed like there was no hope and no light at the end of the tunnel, but there was, I don't know which, I could look it up, but I don't think I could remember if I could find it very fast. Let me see if I can find it very fast. But there was a scripture verse that I had saved. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's not going to drop me into it from Proverbs, but it basically said that, wealth gained fast is frittered away, but wealth gained basically nickel by nickel, dime by dime is held.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I when I read that, I'm like, that's 100% right. Because, the situation we were just talking about with the tax returns.
Right.
And then situation with other people that I know that have gotten inheritances and stuff like that. For the most part, I can't say anything good has ever come out of these situations where people get massive inheritances like right away because, they have all these dreams of, okay, now I'm going to do what I couldn't do before. Well, you couldn't do before what you couldn't do because you couldn't manage it. So now how are you going to do that and come up with the money to manage what you just did?
Yeah.
And it's...
I think it also creates... I haven't been there. This is just speculation, but I have relatives that are very doing well financially, and some that have come into wealth, because of people passing away and whatnot. And I think, to me, and maybe this is just based on my music journalism background or whatever, is there comes a point where you have enough money where you just can't trust anybody anymore, because you're going to think that the only reason that they're around is for your money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, I mean, if you earn the money, and maybe even if it shows up or plops in your lap, maybe you invented something or it's an inheritance. And the only people that you can even semi-trust, which isn't even 100% because you don't know how they're going to react when you have money, are the people that were there before you had money.
No, see, the simple solution to that.
Just give it away?
Yeah. Give it away.
Yeah.
I've experienced that, and it kind of enlightens things a little bit.
I have a relative that has absolutely helped us out with, with money and everything, but she's just a decent person. It was funny because she's given us a lot over the years. I mean, I'm not talking, 6 figures or even 5 figures or whatever, but significant money when we've needed it. And, the other day I bought her dinner. Now, the thing is that she didn't need me to buy her dinner. Like the money that I spent on buying her dinner, there was a part of me that I was thinking, man, am I insulting her by paying for dinner? But then I realized that really what it came down to is it was the gesture.
Right.
That it was my acknowledgement to say that, we invited you out tonight and I want your company, and I didn't invite you out just so you could pay for dinner.
Right.
I do that with my sister a little bit because, my sister's an attorney, and, we go golfing or we do other things, and she doesn't gripe about paying. And I don't think it's a financial constraint for her to pay or not pay. But I also don't want her to think that I just have this expectation that, oh, hey, let's go out to dinner.
Yeah. Because
I know you're going to pay, And it's, I don't know, I'm very conscientious of that. But I always wonder what it's like on the other end for the other person that thinks like I go, hey, Jack, let's go out to dinner. And you're thinking, oh, man, this son of a bitch is going to make me pay this week, isn't he?
No, see, I had gotten kind of used to that. Another topic, but I had gotten kind of used to that in my life, to a point where I just didn't expect anybody else to pay, because I was in a financial situation with generally most of whether they're family members or loved, close friends and stuff, where it wasn't a hardship for me in a way it would have been for them to take me out. So I just instinctively would generally pay. I'm like, hey, you want to, let's get together. And I knew, I think there was one, what was it? I think it was my 35th birthday or something like that, where I just wanted my whole family together to have a dinner. Because it's like the only time we ever get together is, holidays and stuff like that. Other than, we'll get together on the side, but never as a big group. And I wanted everybody to get together for my birthday. That's what I wanted. And I said, I'll pay for it. I don't even care. So we picked a nice Italian restaurant in the city, and everybody went out to dinner, and it was great. It was exactly what I wanted. I didn't even care how much the bill was. It didn't matter in the slightest. But again, I knew that the only way it was probably going to happen at that time, at that point in my life, before my family members were, a little bit more solvent, was if I was going to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God. I mean, I remember times where I would go out with, maybe there'd be 6 or 8 of us, and I knew that I was going to be the one that was going to pay, and it was it was so tension filled because I just didn't really have the money. Like, it wasn't something that I could afford, but yet here I was ready to pay. So if that other person who could afford it paid, I really looked at it as a blessing. But I also dealt with that kind of what I guess is called what do they call it, the alligator arms or whatever, where the check comes on the
T-Rex.
table.
I can't quite reach the table.
Oh, I can't reach the check. So I've dealt.
We've got a friend that We got a friend that's become quite notorious for that, having the alligator arms.
Yeah.
And I've teased him about it before when we were out. He's like, "Oh, I forgot my wallet." I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of figured you did. It was in the plan."
Well, if I take my kids out now, and the fact that I'm able to pay and not worry about whether I'm going to pay the mortgage or if I have to cut back on grocery bills or if I have to, forego a concert or something like that. To me, that's, like you said, at some point you have to accept your lot in life, which is, you're never technically going to have enough money. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, you're one water heater bursting away from being completely, struggling for a month or two. But when I have those moments where there's not any kind of financial pressure, and my mom was just beautiful when it came to this. Like if she got some kind of weird, she won $200 on the slots or whatever. I mean, the first thing she wanted to do was take somebody out to dinner or buy him something or whatever. And I feel the same way. So it feels good to be able to do that. But in terms of financial security, yeah, I mean, I've accepted the fact that that every day that I feel okay is a gift. It's no longer like to me, financial security is an not hour by hour.
No, it kind of is.
Day by day, week by week thing. I mean,
It's totally hour by hour because, the old saying, you've never seen a hearse with a Brinks truck behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how much money Donald Trump has or Joe Biden has or any of these, Elon Musk. They're not taking it with them. When they're done, it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, their money's going to go into some pool or some investment or whatever, or somebody else is going to inherit and do either good things with it or nefarious things with it. But that money already exists. It's there.
Yeah.
And, that is to say, back talking about my birthday celebration there, that was back in the point where I didn't know how to manage money and I would just go out and work more and make more. Mm. So it wasn't necessarily that I could afford it, but it meant that I had a credit card with a big enough credit limit. Mm. And then I would pay the credit card, but that's another story altogether.
We'll do a whole episode on Jack's credit cards.
I think we did that one already, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah. So we were just talking about.
Folks, head back to episode number, and you're the one that made me number them. I should have like a little reference list to refer back to episode number 7, where Jack and Tom talk about credit card debt.
Yeah, we'll have our assistant do that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Our associate producer. We don't call them. They're an imaginary associate producer, not an imaginary assistant.
Either way, I don't think it changes the position much.
No, they do just as much as they do with those job titles. But but it's funny. We were talking by phone the other day about how I had that period of time where I was working at the YMCA in Medina, and I mean I got let go the Friday before Christmas. I'm literally in.
When you thought you were going to get a check for the swimming pool, right?
Oh my God! I have got, in terms of being terminated from a position.
Did you catch that reference?
No. What was the check?
You thought you were going to get a check, the bonus check for the swimming pool?
Oh, Christmas vacation.
Yeah,
yes,
that refers back to our other episode where you were talking about your house assessment, and I assured everybody that you had a swimming pool in your house.
I don't. Please, assessor of Oakfield, don't listen. But that was episode 12. I remember that one all too well. But yeah, I mean, it was such a blindside that, and I mean, I feel like, so like Tracy, she worked for a company that got caught up in some kind of federal charges or whatever, so to the place, and it was like, that was sort of a slow death where it was like, she comes home one day and she says,
actually, I think I'm living in her boss's house now, aren't I?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
You are. Well, but her boss, the one whose house you live in,
she got away with it.
She got out before the.
Well, she didn't get out. They pulled her back to the main office.
No, but she got out of the company before it completely collapsed. Yeah. Tracy stayed till the.
She got out a lot of things.
Oh my Lord. Well, this company, they were overbilling the federal government, so they got themselves into trouble. And when Tracy first told me, she's like, "Oh, we got the federal government, saying this, that, and the other thing." At first, it's kind of like, you got the little brush fire, and then week by week, She comes home. It's like, well, they just let 10 people go, but we had an employee meeting and, everything's going to be good. Then they cut the Christmas party. Then the bonuses go. So it was like, by the time she was let go, it wasn't like a complete shock. But here's the news flash, folks. After you hit age, 45, finding another job just ain't that easy anymore.
I wouldn't know. I haven't had a job in 30 years.
Well, you do, but you work for your customers and yourself. But yeah, and again, that one with and I think that had to be all within the same year. So then the YMCA situation, and then then my wife's situation, and oh my God, dude, we went. It was horrible. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yep.
Bad. Leroy Brown.
And I came in right at the beginning.
Yeah, I think you might have. Were you there beforehand?
I met you right at the beginning of all that.
Yeah, I think I was working at the YMCA when we first met.
Yep.
Yeah, I was so happy. My mother was so happy for me. I mean, man, have I ever? I mean, I've been let down by a lot of people in my life, but those people, they let me down hard. I mean, how do you fire a guy? And then the way I got fired, and hopefully I'm not in trouble because there was legal issues with it. I'm not supposed to talk about. I won't talk about the settlement, which was not much. But so I was playing Santa Claus that morning for our preschool group, and so they literally fired me like in a Santa Claus costume right before Christmas. I mean, you can't make that stuff up.
I did not hear that one.
Oh yeah, it's the truth. They fired Santa Claus. Maybe that'll be the episode's name. Money and firing Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were we talking about, first of all?
Originally we were talking about let me see, money. You'll never make enough. You'll never make enough, but someday you'll find out that you have enough.
Yeah.
Like when things calm down, I like you look at some of these people as they get elderly and they have no bills because, they start to accumulate enough wealth to pay off their house, which, seems insurmountable to any, millennials that are listening now to even think about buying a house. But, they make enough money to pay off their house because, they don't spend any money anymore.
Yeah.
And then now they're getting, several $1,000s a month and they don't really do anything with it. So now their wealth is just accumulating. And that's the kind of funny thing is you realize you spent the whole first 30 years of your adult life scratching, clawing, and buying junk that ends up in a landfill or at a garage sale or sitting out by the road for somebody to pick up for no reason whatsoever.
You're not talking about my record collection, are you? Because we're sitting amongst it right now.
No.
Just making sure.
Your sound collection system.
My sound collection system.
Or sound dampeners. That's what they are.
Yeah, it's you're right. But it's such a mindset too, and I think some people, there was a whole generation of people that grew up out of the Great Depression, and they were very different in their approach in how they spent money and how they did things. Like my father, I mean, they didn't carry a car loan until the latter years of his life.
So then you've got the generation before us started, with the mortgages and cars gradually. And then our generation, I figure, or somewhere thereabouts, those that are like 50 to 60, 65-ish, credit cards and the credit and stuff like that, which I don't feel is as big of an issue anymore. I know anybody that's listening that's millennial wants to go, student loan debt. But, and that may be true, but to an extent, you accept that yourself. You don't create it. You sign on a dotted line and say, I'm going to take this $30,000 versus, stop at Burger King for $7 here and there and, not realizing that, you've dug yourself into a $60,000 hole with your credit card debt.
Well, my dad and mom dug themselves in because, like my dad lost his job and then he went on disability. And then my mom, later years, I figured out after she passed and looking over a lot of their financial records, I mean, he just did he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. He'd get one credit card and he'd get another one to pay off that one, and he was able to.
That's what we did.
He was able to juggle it for quite a while until, of course, they had to declare. Well, I shouldn't say, of course, like but they wound up having to declare bankruptcy, and then my mother ran into the same situation not long before she passed away. I mean, I'll never forget it. It was like she had a bunch of these old collectible pulp magazines of my dad's, and we sold them, and I gave her like $1,300 or $1,400 from the proceeds of the sale.
Wait, was this the old porn?
No, pulp. Okay. I never sold the old. My dad.
I'm just wrapping this up with that. That's all.
Oh, are we 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Let me see.
We're hardcore. 20 minutes.
Oh, we're 25
I
minutes,
know.
dude. You are.
I know.
Our assistant has completely let us down.
Yeah, he forgot to start the phone.
Let's leave him hanging on that the whole. Yeah. We don't need to talk about the pulp magazines.
No. Well, I was gonna
go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, in case anybody's listening and you feel like you're in financial straits.
I don't think Ben's in financial straits.
No, I don't know. He's got 5 kids.
Does he?
Yeah, but he's a professional, so he's should be okay. I believe he's vested, if you might say. But if you are feeling financially stressed and like the end is never going to be here, you've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. Life is short.
Stop looking for the light because you ain't going to see it.
Yeah, that's true. Look down at your feet and figure out where you're taking your next step. Yeah. That might be the thing to do, is to just pay attention to where you're stepping next instead of worrying about the light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
Because you could be stepping off another financial cliff, or you could be stepping onto a pretty sure steadfast step if you make the right decision. But little by little.
And everybody else ain't doing better than you either.
No.
Everybody struggles.
You know who's doing better?
Who?
Those who learn how to love.
Those who learn how to love.
Yeah.
Wow. That was truly beautiful and completely unexpected.
It's true.
I agree. All right. Well, with that, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, share. If you want to make a monetary donation to the studio, you can do that. I'm taking $10,000, $20,000. Or if you want to apply to be our imaginary assistant, you can do that as well. But until next time, which in our world is about 2 minutes away.
In yours, it's 2 weeks.
This is Thom and Jack signing off. Thanks.
Konnichiwa.